The sheriff's stand, a tale of vengeance and justice. My voice broke as I whispered her name, Sarah. Outside, red and blue lights slashed through the dusk, painting our living room in chaos. The sirens wailed closer, tearing apart the quiet of Maple Grove, our suburban haven. Police were coming for my wife, the county sheriff. I pressed my face to the window, heart pounding. In the driveway, Margaret Hensley stood rigid, her phone still in hand like a loaded gun. She'd called the cops, her face twisted with righteous fury. And there was Sarah, in her sheriff's uniform, calm as stone beside her county-issued SUV. Her stillness was a force, unshaken by the storm Margaret had unleashed. 2 squad cars screeched to a halt. They were here for their boss. How did it come to this? It began with something so small, it was almost laughable. 3 months after we moved to Maple Grove, I was brewing coffee one Tuesday morning, the aroma filling our new home. Sarah's patrol car pulled in at 7 a.m., her night shift finally over. I saw the exhaustion in her slumped shoulders. She'd park there for 15 minutes, change, and head to the office in her car. To me, that patrol car was a badge of pride, a symbol of her dangerous work. I never thought it could be anything else. Then came the knock, sharp, demanding. Margaret Hensley, HOA president, stood on our porch, clutching a clipboard like a scepter. Her voice was icy. Mr. Thompson, I presume? Section 4, Article 3 of the Maple Grove bylaws prohibits commercial vehicles on residential property. I tried to explain Sarah as a sheriff. It's her patrol car, just for a few minutes. Margaret's eyes narrowed. Rules apply to everyone, Mr. Thompson. She handed me a $50 fine, circled in red ink, and marched off. I showed Sarah the ticket. She sighed, rubbing her temples. Pay it, John. I don't have the energy for this. So I did, thinking it was over. I was wrong. That $50 fine was the opening shot in a war we didn't know we were fighting. A few days later, Sarah's rose garden, her sanctuary, was trampled, petals crushed into the dirt. No proof, but we knew. Then came Margaret's emails, sent to the entire neighborhood, photos of Sarah's patrol car circled in red, her words dripping with venom. Some residents disregard our standards, threatening our property values. She never named us, but everyone knew who lived at 212 Maple Grove Lane. It escalated. I caught Margaret across the street, timing Sarah's stops with a stopwatch, her camera pointed at our house. Sarah said she was building a file, waiting for a bigger attack. We did nothing, hoping she'd tire. She didn't. Neighbors stopped waving. At the grocery store, our friend Tom dodged me, mumbling excuses. Margaret was painting us as arrogant officials above the law. Then, one morning, I found a dead sparrow in our mailbox, its neck snapped. My hands shook. This was a threat. Sarah's face paled, but she insisted we document everything and wait. The breaking point came 2 weeks later. Margaret installed a camera aimed at our house, watching our every move. Then Mrs. Ellis, a timid widow, showed me a photo on her phone, a grainy shot of Sarah's patrol car tire next to white powder on our driveway. Margaret had shown it to her concerned citizens, hinting that Sarah was unstable, possibly on drugs. This wasn't about parking anymore. It was an attempt to ruin Sarah's career. I showed Sarah the photo. Her face went blank, then hardened. This ends now, John, she said, her voice like steel. She's a threat, and we neutralize threats. She grabbed a legal pad. We're launching a full investigation into Margaret Hensley and the HOA. Finances, history, everything. We'll dismantle her by the book. The war had shifted. We were on the offensive. For a week, Maple Grove went quiet. Margaret's email stopped, and her stopwatch vanished. I dared to hope she'd backed off. Then, on a Friday, as Sarah pulled in at twilight, Margaret emerged from the shadows, her movements jerky, unhinged. You think you're untouchable in that uniform, she hissed, blocking Sarah's path. Sarah tried to walk away, but Margaret dialed 911, her voice a theatrical sob. Help! A woman is impersonating an officer at 212 Maple Grove Lane. She's armed, unstable. She's threatening me. She hung up, smiling with triumph. Sirens screamed. 2 squad cars roared in, tires smoking. Officers Daniels and Carter jumped out, taking cover. Daniels raised his gun, aiming at Sarah's chest. My heart stopped. Hands on your head, he shouted. Sarah took a deep breath, raised her hands slowly, and placed them on her head. Her voice was calm, commanding. Officer, I'm Sheriff Sarah Thompson. Badge number 001. Lower your weapon and get Lieutenant Harris on the radio. Tell him Sheriff Thompson needs him at 212 Maple Grove Lane. Now. Daniels froze, his face draining of color. He lowered his gun, hands trembling, and radioed for Harris. Margaret's smile vanished, her plan crumbling. Lieutenant Harris arrived, assessing the scene. Sarah's voice was pure authority. Lieutenant, arrest Ms. Hensley for filing a false report and misusing 911. By the book. The handcuffs clicked around Margaret's wrists, her protests fading as she was led away. The investigation was swift. Margaret's 911 call and Daniel's body cam footage showed her lies clearly. But why? Late one night, Sarah found the answer. Margaret's son, Michael Hensley, was convicted 8 years ago for embezzling from retirees. Sarah, then a detective, had built the case. He'd been paroled 6 months ago. Margaret's war wasn't about bylaws, it was revenge for her son's imprisonment. Margaret pleaded no contest, receiving 3 years probation, a fine, and a restraining order. Her house went up for sale, and she left Maple Grove. Sarah met with Daniels and Carter, using their footage to teach them about false reports, turning a mistake into growth. The HOA dissolved, and the neighborhood changed. Tom hosted a barbecue, and residents apologized, free from Margaret's grip. Kids laughed, and the air felt light. Tonight, Sarah and I sit on our porch, the sunset painting the sky gold. Her patrol car sits in the driveway, a quiet symbol of her duty. Her strength isn't her badge, it's her integrity, her grace under fire. Justice isn't always a gavel strike. Sometimes it's neighbors laughing, a sunset shared, and the peace of knowing you fought the right way. What do you think about Margaret's actions and Sarah's response? Have you faced petty vengeance or injustice in your community? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's discuss how we confront hatred and uphold fairness. Your voice matters.